Three men, an isolated rock, and a mystery that has baffled the world for over a century. The Flannan Isles, remote, windswept specks of rock in the Outer Hebrides of Scotland. Desolate and unforgiving, they stand as a monument to the sea's raw power. Yet, on one of these outcrops, Eilean Moor, a lighthouse was built, a beacon of hope against the treacherous Atlantic. It was here, in December of 1900, that a chilling enigma unfolded. A relief vessel, the Hesperus, approached the island, bringing supplies and a fresh keeper. What they found, however, defied all logic and plunged a tight-knit community into a century-long search for answers. The three principal keepers stationed on Eilean Moor were Thomas Marshall, James Duquette, and Donald MacArthur. Seasoned professionals, men of routine and resilience, entrusted with maintaining the vital light. Their disappearance wasn't just unusual, it was, by all accounts, impossible. On December 15th, a passing steamer, the Archdor, noted that the light on Eilean Moor was out. This was highly unusual. The official log stated the light was functioning perfectly. This discrepancy marked the first unsettling clue in the unfolding mystery. Weather conditions were severe, delaying the relief ship Hesperus for days. It wasn't until December 26th, Boxing Day, that she finally reached Eilean Moor. The relief keeper, Joseph Moore, was the first to land. What greeted him was an eerie silence. The flagstaff was bare. No provisions had been left out for collection. No one was there to meet him. A profound sense of unease began to settle over Moore as he climbed the steep steps towards the lighthouse itself. The door was unlocked. Inside, the table was set for a meal, half-eaten. A chair had been knocked over. A single oilskin hung on its peg, suggesting one man had gone out without his protective gear, a baffling choice given the ferocious weather. The lighthouse logbook was open. The last entry, made by Thomas Marshall on December 15th, spoke of a gale of unprecedented fury. Entries before that detailed worsening conditions, but nothing to suggest an impending catastrophe of this scale. The beds were unmade, a clock had stopped. Yet the lighthouse machinery itself was in perfect order, clean and ready for operation. This wasn't a mechanical failure, nor was it a simple abandonment. Something far more sinister had occurred. Moore quickly sent a distress signal back to the Hesperus. The captain, Jim Harvey, and two other keepers joined him. They conducted a meticulous search of the island, every crevice, every cliff face. Nothing, not a single trace of the three men. The only physical evidence found was on the western landing platform. Storm damage, yes, but also a box containing ropes, usually kept at a higher level, smashed open. A piece of railway iron, used to secure equipment, was bent out of shape. The official investigation, led by Robert Muirhead, superintendent of the Northern Lighthouse Board, concluded that a massive wave, a rogue wave perhaps, had swept the men away. This theory, however, left many questions unanswered. Why would all three men be outside during such a storm? Lighthouse protocol dictated that at least one keeper always remain inside, especially to tend the light. And why was one man's oilskin still inside, while the others were presumably out in the gale? The official explanation, though logical in its simplicity, failed to satisfy. It felt like a convenient narrative to close a case that had no easy answers. The sheer oddity of the scene inside the lighthouse persisted. Alternative theories began to emerge. Perhaps a giant sea monster, a creature of the deep, had dragged the men into the abyss. The isolation of the Flannans lent itself to such wild imaginings, fueled by local folklore. Others whispered of ghosts, of the phantom of the Flannans, a malevolent spirit said to haunt the island. The keepers, overwhelmed by the oppressive solitude and supernatural forces, simply vanished into the ether. Then there was the idea of foul play, a sudden argument, a fight escalating into violence, one man killing the others, and then, in despair, throwing himself into the sea. The unmade meal and overturned chair could support such a theory. Smugglers were another popular culprit. The remote location made the Flannans an ideal spot for illicit activities. Could the keepers have stumbled upon a clandestine operation and been silenced. Perhaps a combination of factors. A sudden squall, one man caught outside, the others rushing to his aid, only to be overwhelmed by the sheer power of the waves. The bent railway iron could suggest a desperate attempt to secure something or someone. The mystery of the Flannan Isles keepers endures precisely because there is no definitive answer. The sea, in its vast indifference, simply swallowed them whole, leaving behind a tableau of domestic interruption and silent machinery. Their story became a haunting fable, a cautionary tale for those who brave the elements. It's a stark reminder of humanity's fragile place against nature's raw power and the terrifying simplicity of vanishing without a trace. The Flannan Isles Lighthouse continues to operate, now automated, but the ghost of that December night in 1900 lingers, a cold, unanswered question echoing across the waves, forever part of Scotland's maritime lore. The sea keeps its secrets well, and some, it seems, are never meant to be revealed. The three keepers of Eilean Moor remain lost to history, their fate a testament to the enduring power of the unknown. What other historical disappearances leave you pondering the impossible?